Yes. We talk about gas supply. We used to have issues with that. I think that is not the main issue at the moment.
It's still a bit of a big one. It's still an issue because those historical debts, some of them have been paid by this administration. And I said this administration has done really well when it comes to energy, generally speaking, particularly gas and liquid hydrocarbons. They paid some of those debts. But because of the historical challenge, even around gas pipeline infrastructure, for a very long time, the Eastern and Western were not integrated. And you barely, almost never had a Northern until you then began to have the AKK, the Aljakuta, Kaduna Kano, the Oben, and the likes. The Oben, for example, you have an integration of, it tends to connect the Eastern and the Western. That's the Alps and the Eastern. So, for a long time, there was that neglect from infrastructure, and the pricing was poor. At some point, they were forced to sell to NEPA, what used to be NEPA, never expect power at all, or the later PHCN, please hold your candle now. They had to sell less than the cost of production. So the commercial arrangement was bad. Everyone wanted to do also condensate. Any of those projects were export projects. LLNG was an export project. So it took time for us to begin to then see the demand with more private power plants, more people needing natural gas for production. So those were challenges that we had historically, and we're beginning to gradually get out of that. Now, you then had a PIA that took almost 2 decades to pass. And no one wants to invest in an uncertain regime. Because we had all sorts. At some point, they said they were going to pass the PIA in piecemeal. You had all sorts. You didn't want to sink. No one wants to sink risk capital and not be sure how they'll get their money back. So we are beginning to then resolve all of these issues, but a number of them have not been completely resolved. And at times, if a matter is resolved halfway, you do not feel the impact until you get 100%. It's like building a house. When the guys start building, it just looks like, what's all of this nonsense? Until you see the finished product, it then looks really good. So it's similar to what we see. And a lot of energy projects have long lead times. You don't buy many things off the shelf. You need to have conversations, and I don't want to mention the OEMs. You have conversations. It will take 2 years, it will take 4 years.
Production.
As well to 7 years, for example. To even reach your financial close and all of that, it took a while for Siemens to come up with the structure, for all the other guys, you know. So, we're making progress. I just hope after this administration, it's 4 years, it's 8 years, the next administration then doesn't take us back. That's a challenge we do have in this part of the world. Someone takes us further, someone takes us back, then we restart again. And you never make progress once you keep moving back and forth, particularly when you move further back than you had moved forward. You first then need to take the country back to where it was before it went back, before you then begin to talk about progress.
Dr. Olilode, I always like that energy when he's in the studio, and he's always speaking around energy, oil and gas. Well, same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming around. It's always good to have you this morning.